Hi, I'm Wild Bill, and sometimes you get the bear, sometimes the bear gets you. But in Alaska, it's a racket that's exterminating bears. I would usually give this story to Eshkalar because it is so fantastic, so unbelievable. But Eshkalar should entertain you and make you laugh. I can't make this one funny. The north coast of Alaska and much of northern Alaska is tundra. Tundra is arid. There aren't many plants. There's permafrost, which means it's very difficult to dig in. And there are also large storages of frozen methane, or semi, not frozen, I guess, but trapped in the ice is methane. That seems to be one of the sources of the increase of greenhouse gases in the atmosphere when the climate warms, is these giant pockets of methane that are suffused all through the pack ice, the ground ice, I mean. And that comes from seepage from coal deposits, oil deposits, all that. You know, there's methane associated with a lot of underground stuff. But it gets trapped in this ice, and then when the globe thaws a little bit, and these places of permafrost are exposed to more light, more heat, they start releasing some of this methane. That's why they're finding these giant pockmarks underneath newly evaporated ice in the north of Siberia. And they're saying, this was a lot of methane mixed in with the ice. And when the ice started to melt, the methane popped and just entered the atmosphere. Now, something like that is pretty interesting. But I have a better story to tell about the north than that. This is the realm of the seal. Arctic seals used to be pretty prevalent, and the natives were allowed to hunt them. And of course, for years, we hunted them too. When I say we, I mean people that promote the Western tradition, no matter what the other people are saying. And the seals are a very important part of the ecosystem up there. Yakut, Inuit, Eskimo. These are people who follow the caribou herds that hunt whales, hunt seals. Wow, not easy to do. And of course, they can test with polar bears. And I want to give you just a mental picture to take home with you about this. Imagine you are a Yakut Indian, and you're, big leather parka, with seal fur lining and all that. And you're out on the ice with your spear, razor sharp, right? With a loop on it so you don't lose it. The seal doesn't drag it away with you. And you're out there on the ice looking for seals and creeping up on a hole, like really slow, really quiet. And you come face to face with a 2,000-pound polar bear that's also looking for something to eat. And if it gets you out of that parka, you're probably some pretty good eating, aren't you? Now, if you could get him out of that big fur, right, and get those claws around your neck, like on a necklace, that'd be pretty cool too. But in a spot like that, where it's you with the spear and the bear with the claws and the size and the mouth, you're probably going to die right there on the ice. And so, hunting seals is no cakewalk. Not for the bears, not for the men. Now, since the introduction of dependable firearms, brass cartridge firearms, things have changed. Let's put the ball in man's court, and until we fail to be able to produce rifles in sufficient quantity to keep us fed, in such a case, we will continue to maintain dominance over the Arctic. Bears are smarter to the terrain than we are. They are wiser in the ways of the wilderness than we are. They are smart, really. They literally, bears are smart. They rank high on tests of intelligence. Not as high as me, but at least as high as Eshkalar. So, these polar bears feed on the seals when they can. And when the pack ice is attached to the land, which it is when the Earth is a little cooler, the polar bears can walk from the land onto the pack ice, walk along the pack ice till they find a hole in the ice. These are called, I think it's called a polynia, or polynia. That's a Russian word. I haven't seen it spelled, so I'm not sure. And these are places where seals get to switch between the two regimes that they live in, above the surface, below the surface, and they can stop and breathe. This is very important because if they were out in the open ocean instead, in the first place they'd get tired. Seals have to haul out every so often and rest. But in the second place, they would be vulnerable to their major predators, which are killer whales and great white sharks. Oh yeah. And you find any big population of seals, it's not too far north, and you're probably going to find some killer whales and some great white sharks around. Now, if there are one, there may not be the other, because great white sharks do not like killer whales. They recognize the killer whales are the boss. It's true. I can't express the intelligence of a killer whale yet to you, but there is an indicated case that was observed by a responsible marine biologist in which there's just blurry footage, so you can't really tell what's going on, but you see flashes of the underside of the shark and the eye patch of the killer whale, so you get some idea of what their positions were. And according to the narrative, and narratives aren't always truth, but according to the narrative from the person who published the video in the paper based on it, that killer whale has turned that great white shark over and is holding it upside down, inducing a state of tonic immobility. This is the thing. Have any of you guys ever seen the exhibit in an alligator farm or crocodile farm? Well, they'll turn one. An alligator wrestler will turn an alligator around on its back and stroke its belly. That's like a meme in cartoons. And the alligator. That's called tonic immobility. That's a state in which some creatures find themselves utterly disoriented, unable to understand what's going on. They're UFO encounter. No offense to you guys. I'm going to explain that in a minute. When I say this, I mean you're in orbit. You're not on the planet. That's what I mean. I don't mean you are specifically crazy. I'm probably crazier than many of you, but I haven't done this. So anyway, the bear needs food. And the Inuit and the Yakut and the Eskimo need food. The seals need food. Killer whales need food. Great white sharks need food. And you see how this is all wrapped around the seal in the center? Seals eating fish, squid, crustaceans, right? Searching the bottom, searching the middle of the water column, coming back out the hole in the ice when it sees anything bad coming, back on the ice. There's a polar bear, back in the water. It's cool, right? As long as there's nothing bad waiting for you and something bad waiting for you. In that case, I'm not allowed to use adult language in these blogs because I want them to be friendly to everyone. But at any rate, it's not a good thing. If you have a polar bear up here, a great white shark down here, and you're a seal, doggone. I think they're going to send you to another dimension, as they say in Dragon Ball. So, the polar bear is good to do this as long as the ice is attached to the shore. When the climate warms up for a while, like it has temporarily lately, when the Earth warms up 2/3 of a degree centigrade, it creates a huge amount of extra heat to drive the weather engine. Weather is an engine. It's a bunch of spinny things, right, that happen based on potential difference between the heat of the equator and the cold of the poles. True story. And there's always a well of cold air at each pole because the solar radiation is hitting it like this. So you're not getting much. You're not getting it like this, you're getting it like this. So you're not getting as much solar incidence per square meter of surface area as you are down below. Harder to grow plants, harder to make heat, harder to do just about anything. So anyway, now if you're standing up from the ice, hey, it's hitting you 90 degrees almost, right? So you can do that. You could put up a solar panel, but it wouldn't be pointing up. It would be pointing at the sun, which is right down right down at your horizon, doing this, up, below, up, So the bears get stuck when the weather warms up just a little bit, because it means that the ice recedes and doesn't touch the coast as much or as long as it has classically, traditionally. The bear that has lived 30 years understanding how the ice works now finds it doesn't any longer understand how the ice works. If he was a man, he would build an altar and a god or a goddess and start praying to it. Yes or no? Yes or no? Right? I brought you the nuts and berries, Mr. Ranger. Please make the snow come, Oh, Yogi, Mr. Ranger isn't going to like that. Sorry. I can't let that meme go. So anyway, the bear is going to starve because it can't follow the pack ice out beyond a certain minimal spot once it leaves the land. It can't swim 100 miles. It can swim 5 miles, but it can't swim 100. And the seals aren't going to come out in the open water because that's where the great white sharks and the killer whales are waiting for them. So the seals are going to stay on the pack ice. Unless they're having a rookery, unless they're mating. Then they come to a land somewhere and they mate there. And bears can get them. But not on the ice, not out there, because the bears can't reach them. Just because the planet got a little warmer. Poor bears. But there is a life hacks for polar bears that have run out of seals. Ooh, what's that I smell? Smells like 7 layers. This bear's eating Taco Bell. Bear keeps following its nose, and heck, it comes to a town, and every town in Alaska up above a certain spot has an open garbage dump. Why do you need it? Because it's frozen most of the year, nobody cares. And it's just a place to throw your garbage. Costs a lot less than trying to do something with it, right? Yeah, it does. And the bear's like, I have come to the promised land. Ah, yes. Where shall I start? Taco Bell, Pizza Hut, Taco Bell, KFC. I have seen footage, and you could probably find it if you look online, of a polar bear in the midst of a dump with a Miracle Whip jar in his hands, in his paws, and his tongue going, licking up all that sugary goodness. Can't be good for him, but still. Anyway. And for the bear has, in his mind, died and gone to heaven. There it is. All this nasty smelling. Bears are carnivores. And most top carnivores are also scavengers. Great white sharks will happily eat a whale corpse, even out long after you could stand to smell. Long after even a life photographer could stand to smell like problems. So, lions will eat kills that hyenas are eating. So it's like that. At any rate, bears having the time of its life. Some citizen comes to the dump and sees, 1,200-pound polar bear eating stuff. And it looks at the polar bear, and the polar bear looks at it. The polar bear goes, oh, that's interesting. Is that a UFO over there? Starts coming over to it, and the person's like, like the mask, and turns around, on the phone. Da, 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 da. Police, police, police. Police are like, hey, hi, we're the police. We're dealing with human crime right now. If you'd like to deal with animal crime, please contact the rangers. And you contact the rangers. The rangers are like, hey, you've reached the right people. You say you have a bear at the dump. We will send a man out right now. People got to have a place to put their garbage. That's important stuff. So, 7 billion of us a day, a bag of garbage a week. Oh my gosh. Where's that garbage go? Into the Pacific Gyre. Anyway, so the ranger comes out, and here's the polar bear having the time of his life. He's like contemplating his navel. What next? Oh, McDonald's. There's a fry left. Oh, yeah. Oops, I got baby doll. Who cares? It's food. So anyway, ranger goes to the back of his vehicle, opens the back. There's a box. Opens the box. There's a rifle. Takes it out. There's 2 boxes in the rifle case. Opens one. It's got these little tranquilizer darts in it. He puts one in. Boom. Bear's like, ow! What the? Ow! What the hell was that? Was it? Did somebody just stab me with something? Hey, what's that human doing? Hey, he didn't fucking stab me, did he? I'm gonna go see what. Ow! Oh, what the? Ow! He's shooting me with things. Ow! I'm gonna show him. I should just go right there and show him. You know, now I'm thinking about it, I should have taken that whole time out before I did this because, it's not working out right now. I'm all hung up and I don't really know what to do, but here's hoping it's going to go to a good place, you know what I mean? I don't feel very good. Oh, I don't feel very good down there, Lord. And I don't know what the hell's going on. My brain's racing, but my body's going blah. Welcome to PCP, Standard Animal Tranquilizer, used by vets everywhere. I don't know if it still is, but it certainly was for many years. And it is the go-to tranquilizer for large animals. Yeah. And it's an emetic, and it's a laxative. And you get stoneder than a mofo on it. How would I know? You might ask yourself that question. But I can assure you of the effects on that bear. That bear is laying there with his cheek on the mess on the McDonald's bag, and he's going, oh, my high. Damn. Oh, man, am I high. If I didn't have to ever get up again or do nothing again, this would be so cool. It's like better than sex. Oh, my high. Man, someone just like start playing incense and peppermints, I would be in paradise. Now, while he's doing that, Ranger gets out of the truck, probably has a helper. They go over, they turn the bear over, they're taking a look at the bear, they give it the old, I mean, you're going to have a UFO experience, you might as well have an anal probe, right? And they do that to sex the bear. Woo-woo! And probably because they enjoy it. And put a tag on the bear, measure it, estimate its weight, poke it, prod it, check its teeth, right? And pretty much treat it just like the aliens treat the people that remember being kidnapped. Pretty much exactly like it, ain't it? And you have that same that you guys do. Think about it a minute. Okay, so now they roll the bear up a ramp into the truck. Close the back of the truck, goes bumping off across the tundra mile after mile, hoping to get away from that Eskimo named Nanook, because you don't want the bear to eat a guy like that all at once now, do you? So they're bumping along the tundra, go out 50, 100 miles. And, okay, kick him out the back. Boom! It's like you just got bounced at Club 66. So those guys get back in the truck, and they drive away happy, right? The bear still tripping his brains out. Yeah. He's just had an alien experience where they did all that weird stuff to him, right? So I'm not kidding here. And in the process of time, that bear recovers and wakes up. And Monday goes by, he's like, I'll never do that again. Tuesday goes by, he's like, oh, that was the dumbest thing I ever did. I'm never going back to that human place and eat that good food. And then Wednesday he's like, yeah, whoa, I was so high. Remember how high I was? Damn. Oh, man, if they'd just been playing incense and peppermints. And Thursday he's like, remember how easy it was back in the old days when you just walk into town and eat what you wanted? And then they'd get you high. And they'd like take you for a ride on the UFO and dump you on the ice. Man, that was good times, wasn't it? And then Friday, the bear's like, another Friday night and I ain't got nobody. I got some hunger because I ain't got ate. So he walks on down to town. He gets into town again. He's like, look at all the garbage. And he's all singing, yum, yum, yummity. Oh, yummity, look at these chicken bones. Ha ha, yum, yum, yum. And he's going away and having fun. And poor citizen comes pulling up to the dump going, oh, jeez. Oh, jeez. Okay, back up, and get on the phone. I called the police last time. They said call the ranger. Ranger, there's a bear at the dump. Can you please come get it so I can throw away my extra crispy? And the ranger's like, yep, that's my job, ma'am. So goes and pulls up with his truck and opens the back, and there's the rifle case, and he opens it up, and now he opens up the second box, and it's got 30 bullets in it. He opens the action, puts a bullet in, takes a nice long beat, maybe use the edge of the truck for stability. Pow! And the bear dies. Because the first time, you're a potential nuisance bear. You're a nuisance bear. The second time, you're a repeat offender, and the penalty for repeat offense is death. This is a real thing that humans do. We are eliminating polar bears as a species, and climate change is helping us. So that's just something I thought maybe more people should know about. But that's what the laws are like, and there are good reasons for them. You wouldn't want your school kid to be picked off by a polar bear, would you? But nobody ever says, well, you shouldn't be putting a giant dump out there attracting bears in the first place, do they? No, because you got to, humans, right? Together, we made enough noise to keep the wolves away. Oh! This is Wild Bill.